Take the story of a boy named Ryan, who at age 4 started recalling a past life as a man who had died in a tragic accident far from where Ryan lived. He described specific details, a name, the family's home, even the man's profession. When his family investigated, they found the man had indeed existed in the exact place Ryan described. For Ryan, these memories were not just stories, they were vivid, emotional experiences that shaped his sense of self. Scientists like Dr. Jim Tucker, who continued the work of Dr. Ian Stevenson, have studied such cases extensively. Tucker, a child psychiatrist, has documented hundreds of children who remember previous lives with uncanny accuracy. His research emphasizes that these children often have no way to know the information they reveal, suggesting something beyond ordinary explanation. Yet, mainstream science remains skeptical. The brain, after all, is a powerful storyteller. It stores not only memories but also hopes, fears, and fantasies. Some psychologists argue that what seems like a past life memory may be a blend of imagination, cultural influences, or unconscious absorption of information. The concept of memory itself is mysterious. Neuroscience shows that memories are not static files stored in a perfect vault. They change, fade, and sometimes form entirely new narratives when recalled. This fluidity makes it hard to say where a memory truly begins or ends. Spiritual traditions from around the world offer rich, diverse views on reincarnation and the soul's journey. In Jainism, for example, the soul is eternal and pure, trapped in cycles of birth and death due to karma. The ultimate goal is to free the soul through right living and meditation. In Sikhism, there is also a belief in reincarnation, but with a focus on union with the divine through devotion and good deeds. In contrast, Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions, speaks of a final judgment and resurrection rather than cycles of rebirth. These differences show that while the idea of returning life after life is ancient and widespread, interpretations vary widely. Beyond religion and science, many people report personal experiences that hint at reincarnation, dreams of unfamiliar places, sudden phobias with no apparent cause, or strong feelings of connection to a distant culture or era. There's a story of a woman named Dorothy, who as a child spoke with an accent she had never heard and was drawn inexplicably to places she had never visited. As she grew older, she found herself drawn to learn about a particular time in history that matched her childhood recollections. Though she could not prove her memories, the feelings were deeply real and transformative. And then there are the mysteries of shared memories and collective experiences. Some researchers speculate that human consciousness might be interconnected, that what we call memories could sometimes be experiences shared across souls or minds. As you listen, imagine yourself floating on a calm sea of time, the waves carrying memories and moments not just from your life, but from lives before you, and perhaps after. It's a soothing thought that you are part of an endless chain of existence, woven through countless stories. Whether reincarnation is literal or metaphorical, it invites us to think deeply about who we are. Are we just our current selves or something more? Something eternal? As sleep calls you gently now, allow the mystery to settle around you like a soft blanket. Let your heart feel the peace that comes with embracing the unknown, knowing that the soul's journey, however it unfolds, is full of wonder. Rest well, knowing that your story is part of a vast, timeless dance. In the quiet stillness of night, as the world slows down and your thoughts begin to drift, have you ever wondered if this life is the only one you've lived? What if the dreams you've had, the strange places that feel oddly familiar, or the moments of déjà vu that send chills down your spine, were not just coincidences, but echoes from a life before? Tonight, we're going on a journey, soft and slow, into the ancient mystery of reincarnation. We'll explore the stories of children who remember past lives, examine what science has to say about the possibility of memory beyond death, and drift gently through the spiritual beliefs held by different cultures across the world. This is not a story of fear or finality. It is a story of wonder, one that asks, what if your soul has traveled far and wide, through centuries, through countless faces and names, quietly carrying pieces of memory across the sands of time? So take a deep breath, let your body sink into rest, and allow your mind to wander through the veil of time. This is the mystery of reincarnation. Have you ever experienced that uncanny sensation of déjà vu, that strange feeling that you've lived this exact moment before? It's a fleeting, yet powerful experience that makes you question the very nature of time and reality. It's as if a memory, not quite yours, flickers at the edge of your awareness. Or perhaps you've met someone new and felt an instant connection, a sense of familiarity that defies explanation. It's more than just a friendly vibe. It's a deep-seated recognition, a feeling that you've known this person in another time, another place. This feeling sparks a sense of wonder, making you ponder the mysteries of human connection. These moments, however brief, hint at a profound mystery that has fascinated humanity for millennia, the possibility of something more, something beyond our immediate perception. It's a question that has driven philosophers, theologians, and everyday individuals to seek answers about our existence. From the construction of ancient monuments, testaments to civilizations long past, to the exploration of modern philosophies, with contemporary thinkers pushing the boundaries of our understanding, we've tirelessly searched for meaning, a purpose, a reason for our being, a deeper understanding of our place in the universe. We find ourselves wondering if our lives are merely single, isolated chapters, or if they are part of a much larger, more intricate story, a grand narrative that spans across lifetimes. The ancient idea of reincarnation offers a powerful and comforting answer, that our souls return, life after life, embarking on a continuous journey of growth and evolution. We come back to learn valuable lessons, to experience the profound depths of love, and to grow, evolving into more compassionate and enlightened beings. This belief transforms the concept of death from a definitive ending into a gentle transition, a doorway to another chapter, inviting us to see our individual lives not as isolated events, but as integral threads, intricately woven into a vast, interconnected tapestry of existence, where every life contributes to the beauty and complexity of the whole. The mid-20th century was a time of great change and societal shifts, but also a time when certain mysteries seemed to defy explanation. Among these perplexing cases, the story of the Pollock sisters stands out, a chilling and thought-provoking narrative that continues to spark debate and wonder to this day. In 1957, tragedy struck the Pollock family in England, leaving an unfillable void in the lives of John and Florence Pollock. Their two young daughters, Joanna and Jacqueline, were tragically killed in a car accident, a devastating blow that no parent should ever have to endure. The small town mourned the loss of these vibrant young lives, and the Pollock family was left to grapple with unimaginable grief. A year later, against all odds and amidst the lingering sorrow, a glimmer of hope emerged. Florence Pollock became pregnant and gave birth to twin girls, Gillian and Jennifer. The arrival of these new lives was seen by some as a miracle, a sign that life, in its mysterious way, finds a way to continue. As the twins grew, something extraordinary began to unfold. Gillian and Jennifer began displaying uncanny knowledge and behaviors that seemed to mirror those of their deceased sisters, Joanna and Jacqueline. It was as if echoes of the past were resonating within these young children, raising questions about memory, identity, and the very nature of existence. One of the most striking details was that Jennifer had birthmarks identical to Jacqueline's scars, marks that had no apparent medical explanation. These birthmarks served as a tangible link to the past, fueling speculation and adding another layer of intrigue to the already perplexing case. Even more astonishing, both twins recognized toys and places they'd never seen before, identifying objects and locations that belonged to their deceased sisters. This familiarity with the past defied logical explanation, suggesting a connection that transcended the boundaries of conventional understanding. They even described the fatal accident with chilling accuracy, recounting details that they could not have possibly known through normal means. Their descriptions were vivid and unsettling, painting a picture of the tragic event that had claimed the lives of their sisters. Furthermore, the twins showed an intense fear of passing cars, a phobia that seemed to stem from a deep-seated trauma they had never personally experienced. This fear was not a generalized anxiety, but a specific and pronounced aversion to automobiles, mirroring the circumstances of their sisters' deaths. Dr. Ian Stevenson, a renowned psychiatrist known for his research on reincarnation, meticulously documented the case, noting that the twins' personalities mirrored their sisters. He observed striking similarities in their temperaments, preferences, and even their mannerisms, further fueling the debate about the possibility of reincarnation. As the twins grew older, these uncanny memories and behaviors gradually faded, suggesting that the connection to their past lives was strongest during their early years. The intensity of their recollections diminished with time, leaving behind a lingering sense of mystery and wonder. For many, the Pollock twins remain a compelling example, a tantalizing glimpse into the possibility that consciousness may persist beyond the boundaries of a single lifetime. Their story challenges our understanding of memory, identity, and the very fabric of reality. The case raises profound questions about the nature of memories and traits, and whether they can be possibly carried from one life to the next, hinting at the potential for reincarnation or some other form of transpersonal connection. It invites us to consider the possibility that our lives are not isolated events, but rather interconnected threads in a larger tapestry of existence. Their story continues to intrigue researchers, skeptics, and believers alike, serving as a reminder that there are still mysteries in this world that defy easy explanation. The enigma of the Pollock twins endures, prompting us to explore the uncharted territories of the human mind and the enduring questions of life, death, and what lies beyond. As we journey deeper into the world of reincarnation, the boundaries between science, memory, and spirituality begin to blur. Across continents and centuries, stories have emerged. Stories of children recalling lives they never lived, of memories surfacing that seem to belong to someone else. But are these simply coincidences, or do they hint at something more profound? One such story comes from the heartland of America. Ryan, a young boy from Oklahoma, began sharing vivid memories of a life in old Hollywood, describing movie sets, actors, and even naming people he had never met. His mother, puzzled and a bit unsettled, turned to Dr. Jim Tucker, a psychiatrist at the University of Virginia, who has dedicated his career to investigating cases just like Ryan's. Dr. Tucker's research builds upon the legacy of Dr. Ian Stevenson, meticulously documenting thousands of cases where children recall past lives with astonishing detail. With a calm, methodical approach, Dr. Tucker seeks evidence, names, dates, and places that can be verified. In Ryan's case, the details he provided matched the life of a little-known film extra from the 1930s, a connection that defied easy explanation. But even as science explores these mysteries, the nature of memory itself remains elusive. Modern neuroscience tells us that memories are fragile and reconstructive, often shaped by suggestion and imagination. Yet, the specificity and intensity of some past life memories, especially in young children, challenge conventional theories. Are these echoes of previous lives, or simply the mind weaving stories from the fabric of dreams and subconscious impressions? Around the world, beliefs about reincarnation take many forms. In some Native American and African traditions, the return of ancestors is celebrated, with newborns seen as the embodiment of those who came before. In the West, reincarnation is less commonly accepted, yet stories like Ryan's and the research of Dr. Tucker invite us to contemplate possibilities beyond material understanding. As we reflect on these stories and studies, we find ourselves standing at the intersection of science, spirituality, and the enduring human quest to understand what, if anything, follows this life. Are these memories truly carried across lifetimes, or do they reveal the hidden depths of the human mind? The answers remain just out of reach, shimmering like a distant dream. In this gentle mystery, we are reminded that life's greatest questions often lead us to wonder, to search, and to imagine what might lie beyond the horizon of our known experience. Across continents and decades, the stories of children recalling lives they never lived continue to mystify and inspire. Among these remarkable accounts, two stories stand out, each echoing the haunting possibility that our memories may not always belong to us alone. The first is the story of James, a young boy who, even as a toddler, spoke of places he'd never visited and people his family had never met. He described, with startling clarity, a life that seemed to belong to someone else. A pilot who soared above the clouds, whose final moments were marked by fire and fear. James's parents, bewildered and searching for answers, began to investigate. They discovered that every detail their son provided, names, locations, even the type of aircraft, matched the real life of a pilot who had died decades before in the very town James described. Was it imagination, or the echo of a soul that had not yet finished its journey? Thousands of miles away, in early 20th century India, a young girl named Shanti Devi began to speak of a life she once lived in a town called Mathura. She recalled her former name, the home she'd lived in, and the family she'd left behind. Shanti's knowledge was so precise that it drew the attention of teachers, neighbors, and eventually, national leaders. Investigators traveled with her to Mathura, where she recognized her former husband and son, described the layout of her old home, and recounted intimate family details no outsider could know. The depth and consistency of Shanti Devi's memories captivated not only her community, but also scholars and government officials. Her case became one of the most thoroughly documented examples of past life recall, prompting both skepticism and wonder. In the gentle unfolding of her story, we glimpse the enduring human desire to understand who we are and who we might have been. As we witness these children's journeys, James with his dreams of distant skies, Shanti with her memories of another home, we are reminded of the mysterious threads that may connect one life to the next. Their stories invite us to look beyond the boundaries of time and identity, to imagine a world where the soul's journey is far longer and more intricate than we have ever dreamed. These stories have fascinated scientists for decades. Dr. Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist from the University of Virginia, devoted much of his career to studying such cases. He documented over 2,500 cases worldwide of children reporting past life memories, often with verifiable details. His work remains controversial but intriguing, showing that some memories seem to exist beyond ordinary explanation. Yet, the brain is a mysterious organ. It can create memories that never happened, confuse dreams with reality, and weave fantasies from bits of overheard stories. Some psychologists suggest that these past life memories could be explained by cryptomnesia, where forgotten knowledge returns disguised as new memories. Others believe they may be subconscious attempts to process trauma or loss. There's also the well-known phenomenon of déjà vu, that sudden eerie feeling that a moment or place is familiar, even if logically it shouldn't be. Science suggests it may be caused by brief lapses in brain processing, but some believe it's a glimpse into previous lives, a whisper from the soul reminding us of journeys already traveled. Religions around the world have very different perspectives on reincarnation. In Hinduism, it is a central belief. The soul, or Atman, passes through cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, known as samsara, until it achieves liberation, moksha. Karma, the law of cause and effect, guides this journey, shaping what form the soul takes next. Buddhism also teaches rebirth, but with a different emphasis. There is no permanent soul, but a stream of consciousness that continues. The goal is to escape suffering and the cycle of rebirth by achieving enlightenment, nirvana. In contrast, many Western religions like Christianity and Islam typically reject reincarnation, focusing instead on a single earthly life followed by an eternal afterlife in heaven or hell. However, some early Christian sects and mystical traditions entertained ideas of reincarnation, but these were largely suppressed over time. The ancient Greeks, including Plato, believed in the transmigration of the soul. Plato described the soul as immortal, learning and growing through many lives. This idea also influenced early Western philosophical thought. Even within indigenous traditions worldwide, from Native American beliefs to African spiritualities, ideas of souls returning, ancestral spirits, and cyclical life patterns are common. As you listen, consider the possibility that memory and identity are far more mysterious than we often realize. Perhaps memories are not confined to this single lifetime, but drift across the currents of time. Or maybe these stories and feelings come from the depths of the unconscious mind, seeking meaning in the vast mystery of existence. Whatever the truth, these tales, from children who remember, from cultures that have lived with these beliefs for millennia, and from scientists who dare to explore the unexplained, invite us into wonder. They remind us that life, death, and memory may be threads in a fabric far larger than ourselves. Tonight, as you close your eyes, allow your mind to drift softly through these stories and questions. Let the mystery wrap you gently, like a lullaby sung through time. And know that whatever you believe, the journey of the soul, or the mind, is one of the most beautiful mysteries we share. As the night deepens and the world quiets down, let your thoughts wander gently into the vast mystery of who we truly are. Imagine the soul as a traveler, moving through time not in a straight line, but in circles and spirals, gathering experiences, learning lessons, and sometimes carrying memories from one life to the next. Scientists remain curious but cautious. Many argue that while these cases are fascinating, they do not conclusively prove reincarnation. Neuroscience tells us that memory is stored in the brain's complex networks, built from electrical signals and chemical changes. When the brain dies, those networks cease. How then could memories survive? Some researchers propose ideas from the cutting edge of science, such as quantum consciousness, suggesting that our awareness may exist beyond the physical brain, stored in fields or energies we barely understand. While this is speculative, it opens doors to possibilities that blend science and spirituality. At the same time, the psychology of memory shows us that our minds are remarkable storytellers. Dreams, imagination, suggestion, and cultural beliefs can shape vivid experiences that feel like memories but may not have a physical source. Past life regression therapy, for example, uses hypnosis to help people access memories that may be symbolic or created by the subconscious mind, yet feel profoundly real and healing. Beyond the stories and the science, reincarnation touches something deep within human nature, a longing for continuity, for meaning beyond this lifetime. It offers comfort to many, a belief that death is not an end, but a new beginning, that love, loss, and learning are threads woven through many lifetimes. Religions have long embraced these ideas in their own ways. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, for instance, describes the soul's journey through intermediate states before rebirth, a guide to navigating this transition. The Mayan civilization saw time as cyclical, with souls returning through cosmic patterns. Ancient Egyptian beliefs held that the soul could revisit the living world, influencing descendants. Even in the modern world, millions find solace in the idea that life is a river flowing through many channels, that the self is more than flesh and bone, that memories, love, and growth transcend a single existence. As you listen now, allow yourself to rest in the mystery. There is no rush to understand or explain. Instead, breathe slowly, feel your body soften, and let your mind drift through the quiet wonder of the soul's journey, whether it spans one life or many. Remember that the question itself, can memories travel across lives, is a bridge between science and spirit, reason and belief, known and unknown. In this space, you are safe to wonder, to imagine, to dream. And as you do, may you find a gentle peace, a comfort in the possibility that you are part of something vast and timeless, connected by memories seen and unseen, known and unknowable. Rest now, and let the mystery carry you softly into sleep. Sleep well. The story of James Leininger is one that has captivated the minds of many, sparking debates and raising profound questions about the nature of consciousness and the possibility of reincarnation. James Leininger, a young boy from Louisiana, would become the center of an extraordinary case. From a very young age, around 2 years old, James began experiencing vivid and disturbing nightmares. These weren't typical childhood bad dreams. They were filled with intense imagery of crashing airplanes, explosions, and the terrifying sounds of war. As he grew older, the nightmares became more detailed, and James started speaking about his experiences as if they were real memories. He described being a World War II pilot named James, a name that echoed through his subconscious. He recounted specific details about flying a Corsair, a type of fighter plane, from the USS Natoma Bay, an aircraft carrier that served in the Pacific during the war. These were details a child of his age would have no way of knowing. James even spoke of his plane being shot down at Iwo Jima, a pivotal and bloody battle in the Pacific theater. The specificity of his claims was unsettling. His father, Bruce Leininger, was initially skeptical, dismissing the stories as the product of an overactive imagination. He tried to explain them away as just dreams. However, as James continued to provide more and more accurate details, Bruce began to investigate, meticulously researching every detail his son provided, a quest for the truth. To his astonishment, Bruce confirmed every detail, one by one. He uncovered military records that verified the existence of a pilot named James Houston Jr., who served on the USS Natoma Bay. The records showed that James Houston Jr. had indeed died in the Pacific, and the circumstances of his death matched the details James Leininger had described in his nightmares. The young James didn't stop there. He named fellow pilots who served with Houston, providing names that were later confirmed through military records and veteran interviews. He also drew detailed battle scenes, depicting the aerial combat he claimed to have experienced, showcasing an uncanny knowledge of aircraft and wartime tactics. The accuracy and depth of James's knowledge were astonishing, not only to his family, but also to researchers who began to study the case, captivated by the implications. Bruce and Andrea Leininger sought out veterans who had served on the USS Natoma Bay, as well as James Houston Jr., YS surviving sister, Anne Barron. These individuals were presented with James's statements and drawings, and many of them verified the facts, confirming details that only someone who had been there would know. As the evidence mounted, the Leiningers, initially skeptical, became increasingly convinced that James was indeed reliving a past life, embracing the concept of reincarnation as a possible explanation. The James Leininger case stands out from other reincarnation claims due to its specificity and the sheer volume of verifiable information. The level of detail, combined with the corroboration from multiple sources, makes it one of the most compelling and well-documented cases of its kind. James's story challenges our fundamental understanding of memory, identity, and the very nature of consciousness, pushing the boundaries of what we believe is possible. It forces us to confront profound questions about the continuity of the soul and whether a soul can truly carry its experiences, traumas, and knowledge from one life to another, leaving us to ponder the mysteries of existence. The belief in rebirth is woven through cultures worldwide, from the Inuit to the ancient Greeks. Plato wrote of souls choosing new lives, while Druids and Gnostics saw the soul's journey as a cycle of learning and purification. In many traditions, ancestors are seen as living on in new generations, shaping a worldview where time is circular, not linear. These beliefs emerged independently across continents, suggesting reincarnation is a natural response to life's mysteries. Whether for soul growth or community balance, the idea of rebirth connects us to the past and gives hope for the future. In Hinduism and Buddhism, reincarnation is a central law of existence. Hinduism teaches that karma shapes each rebirth, and the soul's ultimate goal is moksha, liberation from the cycle of samsara. Buddhism agrees on rebirth and karma, but sees no permanent soul, only a stream of consciousness continuing from life to life. The aim is nirvana, freedom from suffering and rebirth, achieved through ethical living and wisdom. Both traditions view life as a precious opportunity for growth and compassion. This perspective encourages mindfulness and personal responsibility for one's spiritual journey. Science demands evidence, but the idea of a soul surviving death lies outside its current reach. Dr. Ian Stevenson spent decades investigating children's past life memories, focusing on specific, verifiable details. He documented cases where birthmarks matched fatal wounds from alleged previous lives. Critics argue that social and psychological factors could explain these stories, and that science cannot yet test the core claim. Still, Stevenson's work has sparked debate and curiosity, challenging the boundaries of what we know about consciousness. The evidence is intriguing, but the mystery remains. For now, science can verify facts, but not the soul's journey. Skeptics point to simpler explanations for past life memories, like cryptomnesia, forgotten information resurfacing as new. Children may absorb stories or images, then later recall them as their own. Suggestion and confabulation can shape memories, especially when adults ask leading questions. Coincidence and confirmation bias also play roles, as investigators may focus on details that fit and ignore those that don't. In cultures where reincarnation is common, families may interpret unusual statements through that lens, reinforcing belief. Investigators use strict methods to test past life claims, starting by recording a child's statements before any research begins. They look for specific, unusual details that can be checked against historical records. The strongest cases involve information the child couldn't have learned normally, like names, places, or unique events. Behavioral evidence, such as recognizing people or places, or displaying unlearned skills, adds weight. These methods aim to rule out ordinary explanations and focus on the extraordinary. Still, even the best cases leave room for doubt and wonder. After exploring stories, beliefs, and scientific scrutiny, we return to the central question: are we bound to one life, or do our souls journey on? The evidence is compelling but not conclusive. Science and skepticism offer strong counterpoints. For some, personal experience is proof enough. For others, the mystery endures. Perhaps the truth lies between spirituality and science, in the unexplored depths of consciousness. The stories continue, inviting us to listen, question, and wonder. Maybe, just maybe, we have all been here before.